I'm Tom O'Neill, a landscape photographer from the northwest of England. Subscribe and join me as I photograph epic mountainscapes, serene lakes, majestic seascapes and magnificent waterfalls. This is Solo Photo Ventures.
Hello there. So the last video I took in Wales was back in July. Now we've returned for a little bit of a family break here in October. As you can see, the autumn colours are starting to peek in. I thought today, let's go and look for a nice waterfall. So we've come to Craflwyn, which is near Beddgelert, for a bit of woodland and waterfall photography. Mostly the waterfall. And so far I'm pretty impressed with what I'm seeing here. It's been a very, very long time since I've actually come here and there's a lot changed. So let's get to this waterfall and have a look around. Okay, so I've made it to the first waterfall you can see behind me here. I'm actually pretty impressed with this one, but I'm not sure how this one will look unless it's been raining. In fact, I'm willing to bet in the summertime that dries up completely. But for today, it's been raining a lot and I'm getting a good shot here. As you see, we've got that wall just built into it. Just coming down across it, that's creating a nice interest because of the moss. And down here, right in front of my camera, I've actually got that leaf that's fallen on the fern. It has fallen on there, I haven't placed it there, not this time. I just got lucky with that one, or unlucky depending on your perspective. To take it, technically it's actually going to be very difficult because I'm going to have to take a fast shutter for that, but a slow shutter for the waterfall. I'm also going to have to focus stack it because if I focus on the waterfall it goes blurry in the foreground. If I focus on the foreground it goes blurry in the background, so naturally I'm going to have to focus stack. I'm also going to have to time blend as well. So I'm taking around half a second for the waterfall and about 100th of a second, or maybe 160th of a second for the fern in front of me. Now I'm actually switching to auto ISO, and that's actually going to maintain my exposure how I want it. There shouldn't be any difference in exposure when I actually blend the photos, which will make it a lot easier to blend them later on. Hopefully that shot will be any good when I've blended it. If it is, here's the first shot of the day. So I found the second shot on the trail here. It's still not the waterfall I'm looking for, but it's quite a nice one nonetheless. Well, I've got this branch snaking all the way up to it. So I'm taking a portrait orientation shot with the polarizer on to take the glare and the reflection off the foliage and the rocks. Also takes a bit of it off the water as well. I am sweating, it's warm today. But it's also bringing out the greens, which is also helping to enhance the oranges that we've got around as well because of the dropped leaves. So I'm going to take that, just one shot with f11. I may change that depending on this light. I'll do that at about quarter of a second. And that should create a nice smooth effect in the water, but it also should bring my exposure down enough with the sun directly on it. I actually want to bring out these shadows I'm getting because of that sun. The next shot I'm going to get, when the sun comes back out, if you see just over here in the corner, there's a nice bit of dead fern there, the bracken. I'm hoping the sun will go through that again and make it glow again like it was a few moments ago. I want to set up to get a shot looking down through that at the waterfall. We'll get this shot first, and then we'll take a look at that one. Okay, so I'm set up for my second shot, which, as you can see, the fern is glowing nicely because of the sun coming through it. I've just taken two shots here, one just over there, which is looking more behind the fern at the waterfall. It didn't seem to glow as much there, but I'll put the shot up anyway. Second shot, I'm looking more at it from here, and I've got the waterfall, as you can see with my camera there, I've got the waterfall just making up some side interest. I'm hoping that glowing fern with the creamy white waterfall, I'm hoping that's going to create a nice contrast. Now I've shot that at f12 and about half a second. And that's just to maintain the exposure and also stop any movement I can in the fern. It's not moving that much, but it might just be moving enough. I'll have to see when I get back to the computer, but that's just one shot, no focus stacking, and I'm using the polarizer to enhance the colour of the fern and take any reflections that come due to the sun. All in all, I'm pretty happy with that shot. Let's see what else we can find. I'm not much of a woodland photographer or a tree photographer, but this massive oak tree behind me has caught my eye a bit, especially with this fern, this bronzy fern in the foreground. And what I'm loving at, what I'm hoping I can bring out in the image when I've finished, the nice warm colours that are hitting that moss over there. You can see it on the video, and the dappled lighting on that moss and the snaking branches of the tree just leaning over it with this bronze coloured fern in the foreground. I'm hoping the way I'm seeing that in my mind actually translates into the image, and that's really going to depend on how I edit it. But hopefully that will prove to be a good shot. I am not by any means a woodland photographer, but I do like the look of that. Now just over there I believe is the waterfall I'm looking for, so I'll put this image up now and we'll get to that waterfall. That's the waterfall I'm looking for. And this is a perfect time of year to come to it. Now I do wish this tree above me was a little bit more autumnal, a bit more yellow, but what we do have is some red berries on that holly at the other side. Now I'm planning a couple of shots from here. I'm going to do my usual sweep, 3 shots, one from this side, one in the middle and one from that side. Now there is a bridge here. I'm also considering finding a nice yellow leaf and just making a foreground interest to make a nice arty shot as well. That is a beautiful waterfall, I'm sure you'll agree. So I'm going to get set up for the first shot, and I'll talk you through each shot as I do them. Let's get that first one in the bag. Okay, so first shot I'm going to go for, as you can see, there's a gap in these rocks here. I'm setting my camera looking straight through that gap at the waterfall. Now I've got the red berries in the distance on that holly. I've got that lit up nicely by the sun. I'm having to be careful of my exposure with the waterfall because it is overcooking it a bit because the sun's directly on it. And there is a little bit of subtle lighting on these rocks around me as well. What I'm hoping to do in post, this is going to be a one-shot image. What I'm hoping to do in post is bring out these rocks in the foreground just a little bit, subtly, so you can actually see the green moss on them and just make them out. Hopefully that shot will work out. Whether it does or not, here it comes. Originally I did think of going on that bridge that's behind me, but I've actually changed my mind. I've actually set in front of the bridge so I can actually see that. That's the waterfall coming under the bridge as well. Now I've actually set myself so I can see the waterfall behind the bridge and that coming in front, and the water coming in front is actually my leading line into the image. The sun is out at the moment, so it is highlighting the holly bush that we've got in the background nicely. And it's bringing out some of the autumn colours we've got. I'm having to shoot at f10 and at 25th of a second to actually get the exposure right, but I don't mind that because the water is actually running quite fast. So I am able to get the image I want and smooth out the water enough. Now there is a bit of reflection on the water, so again I'm using the polarizer to take that off. The next shot, I'm going to go onto the other side of the bank there, where there's an old log, a rock, and you can just about make out the waterfall there. So I'm going to see if I can get an image there. I'm also going to cheat a bit and use this leaf as a foreground interest to create a nice artistic look. I'll have to focus stack that one though. I'll get the shot without and then I'll get a shot with the leaf. I struggled to get this one right because originally I wanted to go close to that log that you can see in the background there. Problem is, when I set up close to that log, the sun's directly behind me and that's creating a shadow on the image. If I remember, I'll put it up. I'll put the image up for you to show you what was happening. So I've set about 10 feet further back and just zoomed in slightly. I've got enough of the holly bush and all the environment in now from this side, and this is one of the reasons I shoot 3 different angles, because you get 3 different environmental shots. From this angle I can see the ferns on the wall at the back, the mosses on all the rocks surrounding me, and the autumnal colours on the leaves, and it's creating a much more visual interest. So I'll put that shot up now for you, and I'll come on to my final shot, which will be the arty one with this leaf, where I'm cheating slightly. My rather cheating arty shot. As you can see, I'm set up with the leaf just on the wall there, surrounded by that green moss. I think that looks absolutely stunning with the sunlight just hitting it. I've got my camera set up quite close to that, so that's making up a foreground interest. Now I've focused out that with 2 different shots. I've focused one on the leaf and one on the background. Looking at the image, that's actually created just enough sharpness through the image to get the shot I want. Now if you look at the waterfall, I don't know if you can make it out on the video, probably not, but there is a rainbow just subtly coming in around the waterfall over there. Looking at it on the back of the camera, that's actually translated onto the image nicely. So hopefully when I come to editing, I'll be able to bring all that out and create something out of it. It should be a reasonable shot. Whatever happens to it, here it comes. That brings us up into my first autumn video in Wales. Now we are only here for a couple of days, so I won't get as much as I would like in, but yeah, I'll get a couple of videos in and then we'll see what happens with content after that. But for now, it's a beautiful day here in Wales, and we're going to go on to our next location, which is I think will be the Waterfall path. Now all the ferns turning the bronzy colour, turning into bracken, I want to get the same waterfall shot at Watkins Waterfall, the Watkin Path Waterfall, but I want to get that with the nice sort of bronzy hues with the autumn colours. I think we're in for a bit of a treat here. But at the moment, them 2 behind me, well, they want to get to a tea room and have a coffee, and to be honest, I think that's quite a good idea. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.